And welcome to another exciting episode of the Super Breakdown. Today we're taking a look at the MSM-04 Acguy. This is a suit that before practicing for the sake of this series, I didn't play that much, but now I've actually started actively playing it because I really like it. So let's get into why. You have your basic chain gun shot. You can stop it early or you can hold it continuous for 15 rounds, which is not bad at all. It actually does really decent damage, especially since you can kind of do it in a field of fire if you're dashing to the left or right. And the shots will mostly home in. You do have to expend it fully before it reloads, but it doesn't actually take that long to reload. And as you can see, it does consistent damage. It's very potent because of how much ammo you have. You can really just chuck somebody down just with a chain gun. The biggest weakness to it, I would say, is that the rounds have no real penetration. You're not going to be able to stop other attacks with it. But there are other tools that the Acguy has to counter that, and we'll show those off in a minute. I want to go ahead and expend all the ammo again, because once it's expended... That bursted. That's okay. There is another thing we can do that still uses the ammo, even though it's used up. If we do a melee charge, you can still fire. Or if you right bumper on a controller to be able to charge it that way, you can still fire even when you're out of ammo. Right bumper is also your missiles, which are a solid projectile and will stop incoming solid projectiles, but of course will not stop beam attacks. And they reload really quickly, honestly. You wind up having them more often than you don't, which is very nice, because again, when you can put out that kind of damage consistently between the chain gun and the missiles, your range kit already is really solid. And then you have your strikers. Being able to call in Juagutai to be able to just defend for you, because they can block attacks, which I didn't show it very well there, but we'll show it in a second. They can block. Let's see if we can bait something out here. They can block attacks with the shield there, which is very nice. And then you have your forward striker, which can interrupt a lot of different attacks as well. As you can see, you can put out a lot of damage in a very, very short amount of time. For a suit that seems like it's just a joke, right? We'll go into the second round and, of course, show off the melee there. But the range kit alone means that when I ask, should you use the Acguy? 100% you should. This is my favorite version of the Acguy from any of these games. This Acguy's kit is really fun to use. It does have its drawbacks. We'll get into that a little bit with the melee and with the burst. Its melee kit is okay, and it's very squishy. But for a 2000 with that potent of a range kit, I think it's really good. And because it's not a big name suit, right? Like the Acguy's not a Gundam. It's not a main character suit. A lot of people you play online won't be going up against Acguys constantly, which allow you to kind of just get in there and do a bunch of damage with it because they don't know what it can do. Granted, the more people that play it, the less that is a feature, but I still really like this suit. So let's get into the melee. You have basic melee, which we missed with. Yeah, of course. It doesn't really have any stuns, which is unfortunate. A stun would really help it. It has the burst, which allows you to stun, but that's about it. As you can see, melee, pretty decent damage. Not quite as guaranteed as the rest of the kit, but back melee. Still very, very good. And then I should have blocked that with the Juagu. Forward melee is that shoulder charge. It has a very short range on it, but if you can connect with it, it's really nice. Yeah, I expected that. I was too low and I didn't Juagu because I'm just trying to use the melee. There we go. And if we burst. And there we go. I really like, personally, for me, the damaged bread and butter are the side melee and the standard melee. The multiple hits are really good and almost always result in a down. Whereas, as you can see, your forward melee did not really. You can punish still. So it doesn't really matter, but I prefer the standard melee and the side melee. Especially because you can do sidestep tricks with it. Which we got out sidestepped there. Should have Juagu tied. Yep. Chug it. I personally think when you get into using the Acguy's kit, if you're a range player, the Acguy absolutely is one you should consider because of the sheer utility that it has. If you're a melee player, I still think the melee's pretty solid. It's not the best, but it's really good. And so if you're somebody that likes to do a little bit of both, the Acguy is absolutely a suit I think you should check out. Let me know your thoughts on the Acguy in the comment section down below. Until next time, I've been Trey. This has been the Full Spectrum. But I always enjoy the full spectrum that the Acguy has to offer.